What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Excuse me. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. So, this is Love and Hip Hop Miami Season 4, Episode 3. And listen, I'm going to try, y'all. We start off with Amara La Negra. She is still mad and throwing a tantrum and whining and doing what she does best. You know, complaining about, I finally found somebody I love, and my mommy and my mommy and my mommy and my mommy. Mommy, you can't control me. Mommy, I am in love. We're going to get married. We're going to have children. I don't want to do music anymore. I don't understand why you mommy. Listen, I like Amara, but I promise you, we were hearing Amara whine for 4 damn seasons. 4 of them. So her mama is like, listen, you're going to regret this, okay? You're going to regret giving up your career for this man. You're going to regret these decisions that you're making. But you know what? Do you. So then the next day, we see Amara and her mama walking through the streets of Santo Domingo. And her mother starts telling her her story. She said, listen, this is where I grew up. Okay, this was crime. People was fighting. It was drugs and alcohol, and I even had to fight. I had to fight every day to keep myself where I needed to keep myself. And at the end of the day, I finally got to the United States. I was 17 years old. I ain't had no money. And that's why I'm so hard on you. That's why I push you so hard. Because at the end of the day, I want you to be successful. I want you to have all the things that I didn't have, all the things that I wasn't able to give you. And that's why I'm so hard on you. And yes, I want you to come back to Miami. Listen, would that man give everything up for you? If the situation was reversed, would he do for you what you doing for him? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And so, of course, y'all know Amara. My mommy's making a lot of sense right now. I mean, I do love him and I want to stay. But she did give up a lot for me. She did sacrifice a lot for me. So then she goes to him and tells him, listen, I wasn't planning on going back to Miami with my mama. He was like, what you mean you wasn't? You going back? Well, listen, I need to get my mom back in Miami. I'm coming back. I love you. I want us to do all the things we said we were going to do. I'm coming back, but I just need to get my mommy back in Miami and get her settled and make sure she's financially straight. Now, the getting her back to Miami, getting her settled in, I'm with you. The making sure she's financially straight, that is a very ambiguous statement. Do you mean I need to go on tour one last time? Does that mean like what does that mean, making sure she's financially straight? Because in this day and age, you can make sure your mama financially straight without being with her. Child, you can Cash App, PayPal, Zen, Venmo. You could just do a good old fashioned money transfer. You could put her name on one of your accounts and give her a cash card. Like, hell, you could send her a check. Okay, there are a million ways that you can make sure your mama is okay financially that do not include you getting on the plane and flying your happy ass to Miami. Now, I feel like what he heard was, I got this little girl over here who will not cut the apron strings from her mama, not the purse strings, because whatever, but cut the apron strings from her mama. And he said, girl, you are 30 years old, and everything out your mouth is my mama this, my mama this, my mama that. Like, at what point are you going to be able to live your life without your mother? And she was like, oh my gosh, don't do that. I love you. You love me. We're still going to get married. We're still going to have children. We're still going to do all those things. I just need to do this for my mother. She made so many sacrifices for me. He was like, your mother this, your mother that. She was like, oh my gosh. So he like mad. He like, all right, if you want to go, go. Don't do that. Don't be like that. Well, are you going to give me a ride to the airport? He was like, hell no, I'll call you an Uber. Yeah. When he said, I'll call you an Uber, I said, oh, Lord. But then he explained it, and he was like, listen, it's probably not a good idea because right now I'm mad at your mama, and I'm blaming your mama for this whole situation. So me being in a car with your mother, riding down the highway, down to the airport, probably ain't a good idea. So, no. So she was like, fine. Well, are you going to give me a kiss? Boo, he gave her a kiss on the cheek. Whew, Amara. So then we meet our new addition. Her name is Florence, I think LaFleur. And she is the queen or the princess of Little Haiti. It's a type of music. Y'all gonna tell me in the comments. And she said that she was gaining a lot of momentum prior to COVID, but of course because of COVID everything has sort of slowed down, and so now she's sort of rebuilding. But she does have businesses. She's opening up a beauty bar, she's got a restaurant. She said everybody knows who she is. She's like a local celebrity down in little Haiti down in Miami. And we meet her husband, and now they've been together. I think she said they've been married for however many years. They got 3 children, so this not no new relationship type of thing. So we see her at the restaurant. She said, listen, I'm the bartender and I'm performing because, listen, we are short-staffed. It's COVID and we got to do what we got to do. But then she see her husband talking to some chick with his phone in his hand like he's taking down her phone number. And she was like, excuse me, what's going on right here? And he was like, oh, no, I'm just, getting the number to a bartending service. Like, what's up. Like, no, I ain't exchanging no phone numbers. And I'm thinking to myself, if he's exchanging a phone number and you are literally standing next to him, that's just bold. That's just bold beyond bold on top of bold. But we also meet her sister, and later on in the episode we get to see her with her family having some family time. We find out how her and her husband met. He was a little smooth talker, came up with they were at a party and he was like, yo, I lost my phone, can I use your phone to call it, see if I hear it ring? And she gave him her phone, and of course he called it and it rang in his pocket. But that's how he got her phone number. Okay, that was slick. It was cute, whatever. Okay. And then we see her trying to get this beauty bar together, but the beauty bar is running behind schedule. Things aren't happening the way they're happening. Permits and all that other stuff. We know that during COVID it was doing a lot. Like, trying to get stuff done during COVID was a lot. Building permits and all that. Just the bureaucracy of it, because a lot of places were closed. A lot of agencies and government places where you had to get that stuff done, it was closed, or the process was long as hell. Like, I know my sister had bought a new car in that February before COVID, and she had them paper tags, and it took her until August to get her tags. It took me a long time to get my tags when I got my new car. Not that long, though. So, then later on in the episode, we see her, just struggling with trying to get the permit stuff done. And she's talking to her sister about how, she's frustrated and trying to get the permits and stuff done. And then her husband, he ain't been coming home, and she thinking something up. So then she lets us know that he has cheated in the past. He's apologized, said it wasn't going to happen again. Y'all know how that goes. And she finds out that, so she feels like maybe he is cheating. So then her sister going to blurt out, well, he slept with one of my girls. What? Yeah, he slept with my girl. Like, I ain't want to say nothing to you, but yeah, he did. And this was recently. Let me explain something to you. And I understand what they say, that everybody don't want to know, and some people this and some people that. If you are my sister, my blood sister, we grew up together, we got a parent in common, and you know that my husband is cheating on me with one of your friends, not no mess you heard in the street, not no rumors, not no innuendos, not no girls in the bathroom gossiping. One of your friends said that she slept with my husband. Well, I'm just finding out. Explain to me why I'm just getting this information. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. At that point, I'm not even mad at my husband or at the chick. I'm mad at you. Anyway, child, we'll get back to that, I guess. So then we have Noriega. He's throwing a birthday party for his wife. Happy wife, happy life. And we see some oldies but goodies. We see Ray J and Princess Love. They have moved to Miami. They got out of LA. They got out of Vegas. Ray J said, listen, we was in a bad place. Things was real rocky rough. We had both filed for divorce. And listen, I ain't think we was going to make this thing happen. But at the end of the day, I love my wife. I love my life. And when I turned 40, shit just won't the same. Like, I ain't want to party no more. I ain't want to hang out at the clubs all night no more. I just wanted to be at home with my people. I wanted to be at home with my wife and my children. And so we moved down here to Miami. I'm gonna put my team together down here to what do you say? Not restart, because Raycom never went anywhere, but what do you say? Relaunch his team and all that good stuff. So he was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So he says to Noriega, listen, I need to find me some married friends. Can you be my married friends? Nori was like, oh my goodness, yes, of course I would be your married friend. So now they friends. I mean, they already knew each other, but they get to hanging out, and they decide they're gonna cook for the ladies. The only problem is, don't either one of them know how to cook. They got steak, don't know how to cook the steak. They have salmon and don't know how to cook the salmon. Ray J said that, they do have a grill, but he don't do nothing with the blood. He don't like the blood. He don't like looking at the blood, touching the blood, feeling the blood. So they basically tore up the kitchen while the ladies was in the other room talking. Now the ladies was in the other room, remember Noriega's wife is trying to open up a juice bar, and she's talking to Princess about her frustration, and Princess said, girl, I tried to open up a nail shop for 4 years and it still ain't happened. I mean, it was just one thing after another. I was throwing away good money behind bad. And ultimately, I just had to make the decision that this just ain't going to happen. I had other stuff going on. I was having children. I was fighting with my husband on TV. Like, I had all kinds of stuff going on. And it just wasn't going to happen. It just wasn't going to happen. So that's kind of where we left them. So then we meet up with Ace Hood and his wife, and she's talking about her anxiety, and she was saying how the night before she was having a really anxious moment, and she just needed to meditate. We see he kickboxing or whatever he was doing, and so he comes in to check on her. He asks how she doing, how are you, and she said, oh, you asking me now? Because last night when you saw I couldn't sleep and I was up all night, like, you didn't want to ask me. She was like, listen, I told you, I never hid it from you. I was honest with you that I deal with anxiety. I deal with really bad anxiety. And I was having a moment last night, and when I needed you, you weren't there. Now, listen, I'm going to say this. I was with Ace Hood on this. Ace Hood was like, listen, yes, you told me you deal with anxiety, but I don't know what to do when you're having an anxious moment. We haven't had that conversation because, for a long time, it's sort of been under control for the majority of the time that we've been dating. You haven't had these incidents. So I don't know what to do with that. He said, listen, growing up in my household, we weren't allowed to feel what we were feeling. It was stop all that crying. It was, boys don't cry. It was stop crying or I give you something to cry about. You can't be mad. You can't be angry. You can't be sad. Like, he said, that is the house I grew up in. And so I learned how to push all of those feelings inside because that was how I knew how to process and deal. He said, I don't know. It's not that you weren't honest with me about your anxiety. I don't know what to do in that moment. And so just like I was always taught to do, I pushed those emotions aside and I process internally, which is what he also did with the miscarriage. I process internally. So I understand where he's coming from, because just because somebody is dealing with mental illness and dealing with some issues, it doesn't mean you know how to help them. It doesn't mean you know how to fix them. It doesn't mean you know what to do about it. And so I just think that those are conversations that need to be had. And I can appreciate that they had an honest conversation. It didn't get nasty. He wasn't disrespectful. He heard what she had to say. She wasn't disrespectful. She heard what he had to say. And then when it was all over said and done, she cracked me up because she was like, and I appreciate you having this conversation with your shirt off. I said, I know that's right. So then we see her meet up with her mom, and what we found out was She comes from a very unique. Now, remember, she told us that she didn't have her mom come to the Mother's Day brunch because she. Now, first she said her mother was dealt with anxiety and she was worried that her mother would have been too much for her mother to handle. And I felt like she was speaking about like with the cameras and with everything. But then she said, well, my mother had to work. But I feel like it was one of those things where even if my mother didn't have to work, I wouldn't have put my mother in that situation. And so we saw her have sort of like a private Mother's Day situation where it was just the two of them. Her mother is white. And so here's the thing. Her father is black. Her mother is white. They broke up when she was young. Her mother remarried a white man. And so she has a sister, but her sister is white. She is mixed. She got a white mama. For the most part, the person that raised her was a white man. And she said that she always felt like the outsider because she never understood why she looked different. And she always felt like she was unwanted. She felt like she was the outsider. And so she said when she was younger, she was angry. And that's how it came out. It came out very angry. And, you know, her mother was like, yeah, I never understood why you were so mean like that. Like, she said, because I didn't know where I fit in. And so my frustration, my insecurities, my not understanding, it came out with anger. And it came out of anger towards you because I felt like there was favoritism towards my sister. She said, but now as an adult, I love who I am. I love my blackness. I love being a black woman. And dealing with the miscarriage and seeing that, she said, I just want to let you know how much I respect you because I understand the sacrifices that mothers make. And, you know, I love you and I respect you. And I never, you know I was difficult. I know I gave you a hard time, but I really want you to understand how much I love you and how much I appreciate all that you did for me, you know. But I can only imagine that has to be a very confusing life. You know, you're growing up and you're the only person in your home that looks like you. That's gotta be confusing as hell, you know. But anyway. I think that's it. Child, I think that's it. And if I missed it, I'll get y'all the next time. But yeah, that's it. So we'll catch up next time. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.